There we go. All right. We are ready to rock. Bitcoin is over 23.1. It's a beautiful thing. How much Bitcoin do you own, Marcel, as a young
Man,
guy?
I want real money. I want tangible money.
I know. I
I'm trying, I work too hard to get tangible money in my bank account. I ain't doing all this.
I know, dude. Why would you want something that in 14 years has gone from 0 to 23,000? No, of course, because the dollar
All I see are people stressed out about it. Oh my God, it's up, it's down, it's real, it's not, it's back, it's.
Yeah,
No,
let me ask
I'm
you
cool.
something. Let me ask you something.
I'm doing
Throughout
fine.
the last year of the bear market, when you come on with me, you ever see me stressed out?
Literally every week.
No. No, not. We're not talking Dolphins. I'm talking about crypto. Do you ever see me stressed out with crypto? Ever?
I'm usually on for the crypto segment though, because that's not. I don't know nothing about that. All I know is that it is not real. It's not real live money. It is not tangible money in my hand, and I do not trust it. After that, I'm stingy. I don't even like to gamble, dude. I barely do sports betting.
How's it a gamble? What asset class in the history of mankind has gone from 0 to 23,000 in 14 years? Think about that.
You have the 23,000.
My man,
you have $23,000 in your bank account.
Gold has been around for, I don't know, 150 years, whatever it's been on the market, and it's over what, 1,100, 1,200 bucks? It's all you need to know, but it's all right. It's all right. It's all right. I love hearing it's not real money and all that stuff. And it's like, yeah, it is, but that's all
not
right.
real to me. It's not real to me personally. I have bills to pay. I'm not going to do that in Bitcoin.
By the way, is a credit card real money?
The collectors are real.
That's my point. That's my point. It's just digital.
I don't like using my credit card for that reason either, though.
Digital currency has been around forever, bro. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, well, at least the credit card is centralized at some capacity.
That's the problem. Centralized. That's exactly it. You eventually, in the next 10 years, you will be educated about centralized and decentralized financing, and you will then see the difference. And then 5 years from now, 8 years from now, then when you figure all this crap out, you're going to go, now I know what that son of a bitch was talking about. Now I get what he's talking about. So you will see.
What happens first? What happens first?
Your money with no bank fees. You won't be paying the bank all that kind of money that you need just to hold it there, just to ship it somewhere, all that kind of stuff. You'll see. It all change, bro. It all change.
What happens first? An off-script quarterback wins the Super Bowl, or Bitcoin becomes what you think it is? What do you think it will be? Bitcoin hits its potential.
Well, Bitcoin is already what I think it is, and it's going to just grow and grow and grow. In 14 years, it's got over 102 trillion transactions this year.
When is it hit its potential?
Did you listen to me? In the world this year, in 2022, over 102 trillion transactions were made with Bitcoin. People were buying anything from homes to houses to a coffee to a t-shirt with Bitcoin. Okay? 102 trillion transactions. Yeah. Bitcoin is the 19th biggest company in the world right now. It jumped JP Morgan now. It's worth more than JP Morgan, the biggest bank in the country. It's worth more than the biggest bank in the country. It's got a bigger market cap already. But it's just one of these things that's happening and people just don't realize. But I always wonder, because young people are the ones that, when I talk to them, they're the ones that understand crypto normally a lot faster than people my age or older. They are the ones that act like you, like an old man.
But we've established that I'm not young, though.
7-year-old. What are you, 27, 26, 28? What are you?
I've said so many times on this show that I'm 30.
Okay, 30. You're a 67-year-old, 30-year-old man.
We've established this so many times. Oh, I've said I'm washed I don't know how many times on this show. I'm the oldest 30-year-old y'all know. This is not new to me. I just complained about traffic for 10 minutes last time I was on this show. Come on.
Yeah, you are right. You are an old soul. Do you listen to old music too? By the way, at least that
Not
part.
really.
No,
Nah, here and there.
no,
Here
no,
and
no Earth, Wind, and Fire.
I
Little
might have
Percy
I might
Sledge,
have a song or two. I like Prince.
Prince. There we go.
I mean, I'm sure there are more, but of course, I wasn't prepared for my classic musical interest to divulge those. So
You
I'm
did have
telling you,
you
I'm
did have a
a
killer Prince shirt on the other day. You did have a
yeah,
killer.
but I'm the perfect long distance boyfriend because of my age. Like I don't do shit. I've said it. My Google tracker is up down, hard rock back home, hard rock back home. One branch if I want to go somewhere else to eat. I don't do all that.
And Pat in Nashville goes, Marcel. Back in my day, 10 years ago.
Hey, look, 10 years ago was a different time. 2013 was a different era, man.
Yep. No.
I don't even know if the iPhones were square yet. I think the iPhones were still around in 2013.
Yeah, I think they were just coming out then, right? Right about then? About?
Different era, bro. I'm trying to say.
Yeah, no, definitely. Definitely. I think my wife just got rid of her iPhone like 5 or something. She had it forever. All right, let's get it going. So I said this yesterday that Ben Albright reported, and we're gonna have Ben Albright, by the way, on with us at 5:15. And he reported that Sean Payton was having trouble, like, kind of figuring out a job, that it wasn't going as smoothly as it can. And now today came out the whole thing about Carolina and that they hired their coach. He's out for Denver. It looks like D'Amico Ryans. This is all really good sign for the Dolphins, right? Because I almost kind of felt that Vic was going to go first with Sean Payton, because why wouldn't you go with Sean Payton, dude? Somebody's going to give him a fat ass contract for a whole bunch of years. Job security was going to be there for that man right away. So I understood that. But if this thing is going off the rails for Sean, because it's not easy, obviously, to acquire that man, because you got to trade for him, you got to pay him, and then you got to give him the power that he wants. So that's a lot that you're giving up as an organization. Does this become almost a really good move for the Dolphins and a much better chance to land Vic Fangio if Sean Payton is out of the mix?
Well, like I said, first of all, the Sean Payton Vic Fangio attachment is a lot less concrete than I think it was initially reported out to be. Like I don't think that's a home run. I don't think that's a slam dunk. From my understanding, Vic Fangio is kind of a wild card in that, he's not whimsical, but he goes to his own beat. He's not just going to tag along Sean Payton. Too established. He's been a head coach himself. He's had success himself. Like he doesn't need to do all that. So I don't think that's as concrete as we've been led to believe. But I said, the worst case scenario, if you're hoping that he doesn't join Sean Payton, the worst case scenario is that Payton goes to Arizona, or he goes to Houston, or he goes to Carolina. Well, Carolina's off the board now. Right, Houston is still very much in play. Houston would be a little. We'll see. You know what I mean? Like Houston would be a real threat, just because of the assets that they can they can allocate.
I'm with you
toward building a winner. But if you're looking at openings in terms of the players they already have in place, it's hard to do better than Miami. It's hard to do better than Miami. We've said they have legitimate stars. Yeah, Javon Holland, star. Christian Wilkins, star. Jalen Phillips, star.
X if healthy.
Xavier Howard, star. Bradley Chubb, after a full offseason in a new system, star.
And by the way, he may not be a star, but what D coordinator wouldn't love to coach Sealer? Are you kidding me? Shit.
Sealer, they got to bring him back. He's free agent this year. But
I know. I think they will. I think they know without Wilkins and Saylor, that would be like, that's devastating for them to not bring those two guys back. They have to bring those two guys back. They're workhorses. Not only are they great players in their own right, I know calling Sealer great but Sealer is freaking awesome. but they're
He's
also so
he's one of those
durable.
unheralded guys like you're not
Yeah.
going to hear about nationally, but he's still an excellent player.
Oh man, love that guy. I think every Dolphin fan loves that guy, bro. That guy's absolutely money. So you're right. It's a sexy destination. No state tax. You got young players to play on defense.
That's how
Kohu showed a lot as a rookie. That's a guy that I'm sure he would like to work with too.
hey, a head coach that's not going to get in your ass. He's not going to be all up in your stuff. He's not going to be all up in your room. He's not going to be overbearing. Mike's going to say, your world, when things go well, it's not gonna be like Josh Boyer where we're like, was it Flores? Was it Boyer? Who's responsible? No, ain't gonna be no questions. It's Vic Fangio's defense. It's an attractive market. Like this is not so out of the question. It's not so out of the question that he's come to Miami, and it's clearly evidenced by the fact that they interviewed him yesterday. I like the fact that they've got at least one in-house candidate coming in. They're interviewing an Anthony Campanile, guy I think in the media we always love talking to. Guy who's willing to explain his perspective, willing to explain what he sees, his point of view. Like I think he's a good dude. I don't know how responsible he was for linebacker play this year, but if they're interviewing him, clearly he's got somebody's ear. He's got somebody's respect in the building, if not everybody's respect in the building. So I think it's noteworthy. But yeah, I don't know. Things are going to get interesting from here because that first domino is falling. We said, I thought that they're waiting on. I thought that everybody was waiting on Sean Payton. Panthers said, nope, we're going to go with Frank Reich. Now I think we're going to start seeing. All it takes is one. You know what I mean? Especially in this league, all it takes is one, and the dominoes start to fall pretty quick.
If it's not Fangio, out of the other list of guys, do you happen to know who could be the number 2 guy?
I think Desai would be another home run hire. I mentioned Giro Rivero earlier, but I think his the head coach candidacy would have to die out for him to take another DC job elsewhere. But I know that he's got ties. Rivero's got ties to Mike McDaniel. But I would say probably Desai would be my favorite just because of the respect that he has in NFL locker rooms across the league. I think it fits the vibe of what McDaniel. He's like the defensive Mike McDaniel.
I'm with. Okay, I get that. All right, because to me, I have not. I mean, if they haven't done anything by early next week, when I'm in Mobile, I guess I'll be able to get way more information on some of these guys to see what the hell is going to end up going on there. With Bevel turning down, somebody wants to ask, which I think is kind of an interesting point. Bevel turned down a couple of places. Now, those places don't necessarily have a quarterback in place, so it wasn't nearly as sexy of a situation. Do you think there's a chance that Bevel could end up becoming the offensive coordinator here eventually? Is there any chance that McDaniel said, hey, man, just give me another year and I'm going to turn this over to you or something like that? What do you think about that? Why?
What is the problem with Frank Smith?
What do you mean? Huh?
What's our problem with Frank Smith? Is the scenario assuming that Frank Smith gets a head coaching job somewhere? Because no, I don't think that Frank gets fired for Bevel. That's not. I'm not co-signing that. I don't think the offense. I don't think the offensive staff was necessarily the problem here. I think their problems on offense were failure to adjust and then just rookie moments.
No, I get that, but why do you think he turned down those jobs? Because if you want to be a head coach, eventually you got to first go on being a successful offensive coordinator. So he chose to stay here.
He's different. He's different in that he's been a successful offensive coordinator. He's been an interim head coach before. Like I think he could, in theory, interview straight from being a quarterback coach, especially if Tua continues to take a leap and continues to improve and stays healthy next year. Like I think he's got the resume to just make that jump. I think he realizes that he doesn't have to be a coordinator. I think he didn't take the Jets because a bird in the hand is worth 2 in the bush. And right now, there's no bird There's no bird in hand. There's no bird in the bush. There's no quarterback in New York. There's promises. There's speculation. There's we want to try. We want to do. But there ain't no quarterback there. So I don't think he wants to take that. I don't even remember who the other team was that wanted to hire or wanted to interview him. But
Browns, right? Wasn't it the Browns?
Maybe it was Washington.
No, it wasn't. It was Washington. That's right. It was Washington. You are correct. It was somebody that didn't have a quarterback also. And Heineke is a free agent. Not that that's going to attract you to that.
Yeah, and so Bevel said, I think it's as simple. I think it's just as simple as it was reported, in that he's like, look, we've got something good here. We've got something going here. Like, why would I want to leave? Like, I can continue to develop. I can continue to strengthen my resume, and I can win. I can win. I don't have to worry about whatever mess is going to happen in New York with the Jets. I have to worry about whatever mess is going on in Washington. We feel like we got to remember, these are still two of the most dysfunctional organizations in the NFL. The Jets are stabilizing, but they're still dysfunctional. And then Washington, who in your right mind wants to go to Washington right now, unless you're desperate for a job? Why would you want to try? Like, that organization is horrible. Dan Snyder is subpoenaed for something different every other week. They have, I think, from the top down, have very little respect for the game. The Sean Taylor statue, if it is still there by the time the Dolphins play Washington at FedEx Crummy Field next year, I am going on a small tirade about the disrespect that they're lobbying a guy who, I mean, to this day, is probably one of the most popular players in franchise history. So, but yeah, I got a little sidetracked there. I just don't think they were attractive options. And he said, look, if that's what I'm going to get, I'm going to stay put.
Well, I would imagine now the Jets' plan is Aaron Rodgers, right? Because they went and got Nathaniel Hackett as the OC. So that kind of opens the door. Everybody thinks, okay, you're getting Nathaniel Hackett, Aaron Rodgers. Green Bay said they would only trade him to the AFC. Well, there you go. Joe Douglas. Let's go. Give up the picks. You think that that's what's going to end up happening?
It could. I think Hackett is, whatever advantage you can give yourself as an NFL team, you're going to try to do. So I think that's kind of what they're going for here with Hackett. And so, we'll see. We'll see. That's dangerous, though. I'll tell you that much. That's dangerous. The AFC East would look scary next year. I think the Patriots snap back too with Bill O'Brien at offensive coordinator. I think the Jets with Aaron Rodgers wouldn't even be fair. That's like with that group of playmakers that they've got, of skill players that they have, all on rookie deals. Yeah, it'd be a competitive division. I'll tell you that much. It'd be the new NFC West.
I'm with you there. All right. The other thing that what was it that I wanted to ask you on? Oh yes. Is there a plan, do you think, to add another quarterback that either is a veteran or a draft pick as a third quarterback? Because I don't believe they're going to go into the season with just Tua and Skyler.
No, I think they add another vet. I don't really see them investing draft capital in a guy unless it's just a perfect scenario. I've told you already on the show that they've scouted. They've been to University of Florida multiple times. They've taken looks at Anthony Richardson. This was early in the season before Tua, kind of solidified himself. And I don't know what Anthony's draft stock is going to be like. It can drastically raise or drop over the next 2 months. So, we're going to take a slow roll there, but I don't see them investing high-end draft capital. Because, what do we got? They got the two, and then they've got 2 threes.
Right. Yeah. They got 3 in the top 100. From there. Yeah, they got 3 in the top 100 is what they have.
That's still good. That's still good capital. That's still good capital. I think that Chris Greer has generally been good in that second, third round range. When you look at the guy, Raekwon Davis, Javon Holland, Brandon Jones, Xavier Howard. Yeah. So he's pretty good. He's pretty good. That's his wheelhouse there. I think this is fine. But maybe it's a good thing they don't have first round picks because the first round picks,
some of them have worked out. Some of them
have
haven't.
worked out, but those are ones you really, really, really need to hit, and they haven't necessarily hit on a whole.
If you hit on half,
guys that are still here,
if you hit on
half, and Wilkins, and
if you hit on half, you're fine. You're doing a really good job.
But I mean, has he hit on half?
Yeah,
Tua and Wilkins that are still on the roster.
Tua, Wilkins, they hit on the left tackle in Houston.
Tunsil and Fitzpatrick, Tunsil and Minka are good.
Yeah, those are they hit on other first rounders. It's not like they don't. They've missed on a couple, but dude, Jalen Phillips is a hit, and Jalen Waddle's a hit, and Tua's a hit, and
he's gotten a lot better over the past couple of years. You're right.
In fact, wait a minute. I say he goes over 50% on the first rounders because really,
I wrote about this. Last year.
I think. Let me look it up here for you. Okay, because I want to say that he is hitting, and that's, let me tell you, more than 50% on your first rounders is beast.
All right, I got him right here.
All right, let's go from 18 on. Here we go. Fitzpatrick.
Okay, no. Let's start at 16 on.
No, he wasn't in charge then.
Yes, he was.
No, he wasn't. The other guys were in charge. Those guys were.
He was the GM in 16.
He wasn't in charge, bro. But go ahead. Go ahead. Do it from 16 if that's what makes it happen.
Tunsil's a hit, but he's not on the roster.
I'm taking Tunsil out of it, but okay, go ahead. Tunsil hit.
Then there's Charles Harris, who you took over TJ Watt.
Minka Fitzpatrick, 2-1. Christian Wilkins, 3-1.
Noah.
Tua is what? A hit or a miss?
I'd say Tua's a hit so far.
Okay, yeah. So it's 4-1, 4-2 with Noah, 4-3 with what's the other kid? Jackson.
And then Waddle and Phillips. Waddle and Phillips put him over 500.
So that's 6-3. 6-3 in his first rounders.
I mean, the numbers are the numbers. I think the misses just screamed. The misses were so loud that you kind of get distracted by the fact that he's been better than average. But it's the Charles Harris was. It makes sense even at the top.
Whiny bitches about 2020. That's all it is.
There's so much. I think that is you're right. That is the one that reigns supreme because there was just so much hype going into it. Right. There's just so much hype going into it. Reggie D says Minka wasn't a hit here. I don't know. I wasn't here.
I know, but when you hit on 6 of 9 first rounders, let me tell you what that is. That's exceptional. That's not mediocre. That's not average. That's not good. That's exceptional. Because I bet you that you can't find 10 other GMs that have hit on 6 of 9 first round picks.
Does he get a ding? Does he get dinged if guys are no longer on the roster? Though? Like, does he get a ding if?
Why is it his fault that Flores was an asshole and couldn't get along with Minka? He then makes up for it and finds a guy that's just as good in the second round. I mean, that's as badass as it gets, dude. Seriously. That's bad mofo right there.
I think he's been from rounds like 2 to 4, 2 to 5. I think that is his. That's where you make your money, really, as a GM, man. That's where you make your money. That's where you earn your weight.
Let's be honest now, okay? I'm a big Chris Greer believer, just like I am a believer in Tua, and I believe in Mike McDaniel too. He's got to grow, but he's fine. But let's be honest now. What saves Greer in the end is if Tua becomes the guy. Because that's really because you can hit.
That's why I'm hesitant to
quarterback to really hit because that's what makes you a different GM than everybody else. If you can find a quarterback, then shit, dude.
That's why I was hesitant to answer that because as mad as Dolphins fans might be about this, I think Tua when he's healthy is the guy. He's a hit for sure when he's healthy. But availability matters. Availability matters, and he had his injury, his durability concerns were very real entering the draft. Yeah. So if you ignore that and take that anyways, you do, I think, get a ding for it if you can't stay healthy over the course of a season.
But what I love is the reality to the narrative. Okay. And like you were just saying, you started out with the narrative. Oh, well, you got to hit on your first rounders. Now we went over it and you're like, oh, well, wait a minute. Actually, he's done pretty good with the first rounders, right? And then it's like San Francisco. Well, they found Brock Purdy. Okay, yeah, they found Brock Purdy. That's good. But don't forget, they keep signing Garoppolo to a fat-ass contract, and he keeps failing on them. And they traded 3 first-rounders and a second-rounder for Trey Lance. So don't forget that they made their mistakes too, okay? And maybe Brock Purdy is just on a little roll right now. And then later on, the shoe falls off and Cinderella and, the prince turns into the frog again. You know what I'm saying? So these are things that people like, they found Brock Purdy, but they don't mention that they gave up 3 first-rounders and a second rounder for Trey Lance. That if Chris Greer would have done that, my brother, they would be wanting to freaking fry his ass at some Cuban restaurant right now. They would have shoved him inside some pot that's full of grease that's steaming hot and fried his ass right there, for something like that. It's narratives, dude. People just like some guy goes to me, well, Chris Greer, he talked about still taking chances on injury, but look at our whole roster this year. And yeah, let's go look at it. None of them were really injury-prone players. The 3 injury-prone players, well, Chubb ended up playing with the club. So he was in the club there with what's it called, with 50 Cent, right? And then Armstead, 700 injuries, but he played. The only guy was Tua. Everybody else, Brandon Jones is not injury prone. Neither is Trill Williams. Neither is Nick Needham. Neither is Jonathan Agba. Neither is all these other guys that got injured. Austin Jackson wasn't injury prone. He was just struggling to become a player, and he actually was playing all right. And now he dealt with a high ankle injury twice. Eichenberg wasn't an injury-prone player. He just got injured, unfortunately. Brandon Shell, you freaking found the guy off the street, and then he gets injured at the end of the season. Most of the injuries really weren't about injury-prone players. So that narrative, we have this tendency of throwing out the narrative but not looking at the facts. And that's what we just did right now with those first-rounders. And there's too much of that goes around, just like with the Niners. Oh, they found Purdy. But nobody ever talks about all the other mistakes they made, and they made big mistakes. 3 first-rounders and a second for Trey Lance. My Lord, that's a big mistake.
Yeah, especially if he can't play. It was a risk then because I think it had been 2 years since he played. Already low-end talent or low-end competition there at North Dakota State. It was risky even then. Like you're preying on tools there, and he hasn't been able to put the tools together. Like Steve Smith said something the other day. It was in reference to the Jets and Zach Wilson, but he said, "Has Brock Purdy not showed us more in 7 games than Zach Wilson has in 2 years?" Absolutely. And you could say the same thing about Trey Lance. I think he has looked better. He looked better against the Dolphins than Trey Lance did in any action he's had over the past couple seasons. Brock Purdy looked like a seasoned vet. I would have thought if you had no idea who this man was, you never watched the game before, the football before, you come in and you would say, yeah, that guy's been in the league forever. That guy's for sure. He's a vet. He's a vet.
Yeah.
So, no, I don't know what the hell they're going to do with Trey Lance.
They're stuck. They're stuck like stuck.
Just let Purdy go.
Well, no, you're going to keep Purdy. You got to let Garoppolo go, and then go find another veteran to kind of back up, because you can't put Trey Lance is not even ready to be a backup. So if something happens to Purdy, because you're probably going to go forward with Purdy, because obviously he's been durable too, also for you. You know what I mean? I'll give the kid make some tough throws.
You're gonna have to really convince yourself. All right, we traded all these first round picks for a starting quarterback. We found one,
right?
And we found one. Doesn't matter where. We found our quarterback. So it was in the very last pick of the draft. It's semantics. We traded picks and we received a quarterback at some point. And I think that's what you just have to keep reminding yourself until the wheels fall off with Purdy and Lance.
Amen. All right. Predictions before you go. Niners, Eagles. Eagles favored by 2.5. Over and unders 46.5. What do you got?
Niners. I think they're the best team in the NFL. Wow. I think they're the best team in the NFL. I don't care that they've got a 7th round rookie starting at quarterback. I don't care that a rookie's never won a Super Bowl. Somebody's got to be the first. And I think if anybody's going to do it in any situation, it's this kid in this situation. Give me the Niners. And then give me Give me the Bengals, man. They're talking cash shit for the past couple of weeks, and they're hot right now. They are hot, and we're going to get a hell of a Super Bowl with literally the two hottest teams in the NFL between San Francisco and Cincinnati, man. They beat the brakes off of Buffalo last week. At no point was that even a game.
No.
At no point did you think, oh, okay, it seems close. Like, they can come back. All they have to do, no. God, no. Yeah. They have Buffalo in hell in their own stadium. That's why I was so upset with the Bengals complaining about home field advantage. Dude, it doesn't matter. If you're better, go beat them in Timbuktu, in Vancouver, in Toronto, in Buffalo, in Cincy. I don't care.
Hold on.
Go beat them.
Hold on. Okay. Sometimes you have to take a perspective look, and you have to put yourself in other people's shoes. And we've done this on this segment with you and I, because sometimes I tell you, you just got here. You got to understand the pain we've been in. I've explained to you. Okay, now let's go over to the Cincinnati Bengals. Those people have just felt pain for decades now. They've had a couple of moments, but they've never gotten over the hump.
They just went to the Super Bowl last year. I don't feel that bad.
They're now turning into one of the best teams in the NFL, like Buffalo and Kansas City have been over the last few years. They've earned that right. They felt like they were going to beat Buffalo's ass a couple weeks ago, and they were going to set themselves up for home field advantage. So a Cincinnati Bengals team and a Cincinnati Bengals fan base feels like, man, this is the time we've earned it, the time that we want to have the home field advantage, be in the jungle. And now that's taken away from us. So you have to understand the pain that those people have been through. So these kind of moments, they need to cherish them, Marcel. And so, other cities that have had a lot of success, and maybe they've had several AFC championship games, God bless them. But the teams like that and the franchise and the fan bases that haven't, I can understand their anger because they're great and now they want to be home to showcase their team. I get it, bro. You gotta understand the frustration from those people, man.
I get it. I just was surprised to hear it out loud. I was surprised to hear players fume about it in private. Sure, I was surprised to hear it to even be that petty. But as I said, I thought it was corny. I tweeted it. I thought it was corny when they did it.
But we crap on that franchise for jokes, and now this is their moment to shine.
But you gotta give them credit because they came out and they beat the absolute Duralast breaks off of the Bills in Highmark State.
They were going to do that 3 weeks ago, dude.
They were going to do that 3 weeks ago. Yeah. And they were like, the ease with which they scored on every offensive drive that they had the ball, man, was just, or not every offensive, but the ease with which they scored, especially right out the gate, it just felt like, oh.
Yeah.
They are prepared. This is a dud. This is a wrap. I took a nap, bro. I took a nap in the third quarter. I woke up midway through the fourth. I was like, I can rest. I can rest for the big game tonight, man. For whoever was playing that night. I forgot who was it. Cowboys?
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah.
Cowboys, Niners.
Poor
I
Dak.
didn't need much rest for that game.
God, poor Dak. He has really got issues. All right, what do you got going on ESPN so folks can check you out, my friend?
Yeah, I got a long-form story on Mike McDaniel. Should be coming out, I believe, by the end of this week. So tomorrow. And forgot what day it was for a second. It's the off season. But, I've been working on that for a few weeks, so happy to finally get that out. And then we're off-season focusing, man. I'm going to keep an eye out on the Pro Bowl roster. I don't think that Tua would play. Like, I feel like we probably would have heard it by now, but I don't know. I don't have any information one way or the other.
Oh, it's a skills competition, so it's not a big deal. It's not a game or anything if he does the
I know that, but I know that the NFL rules, the concussion protocol rules, are the same for the Pro Bowl, even in flag form, as they were. Like, you can't, because the optics of that are bad. Like, you can't just if he's concussed, you can't play anything. Like, you can't mess around with that.
For sure.
I don't know if he's still in protocol or not. Like, I don't have that. They don't need to update us like that anymore. I'm sure when he is healthy and out of protocol, that we'll hear it probably from him.
Okay. All right. Good stuff. All right. Follow him on Twitter at Marcel_LJ and catch his work. As he says, it'll be unleashed tomorrow or Saturday. So check it out there at ESPN. Marcel, as always, thank you, my friend. Appreciate you immensely. Have a great weekend.
Yes, sir. You too.
Thank you. There you go. Marcel Louis-Jacques, baby. We now have the Edge. Remember, Edge Energy Drink, delicious, smooth, and zero aftertaste. And when I tell you delicious, smooth, and zero aftertaste, I am not lying, bro. It is just absolutely off the chain. Give it a chance. Go to myedgedrink.com. Use our code Big O. Get 10% off. It is just absolutely amazing, folks. I want you to try it, okay? Once you try it, you're going to get hooked. You're never going to want to drink the other energy drink that you might be trying or drinking out there that has aftertaste. It probably has more calories and doesn't taste better. I'm telling you, man, myedgedrink.com. Delicious, smooth, zero aftertaste, and only 78 calories, and a great elixir. I love mixing it with my Grey Goose. myedgedrink.com.
You now